Hello and welcome to The Budget Mouse, a podcast that will help you plan an incredible Walt Disney World vacation, even if you're on a shoestring budget. I'm Leah Althizer, the creator of the websites The Budget Mouse and The Frugal South. I visit Disney World many times each year and have tons of tricks for doing Disney on the cheap. I want you to have the incredible vacation you deserve, so I'm sharing all of my tricks with you on my sites and here in the podcast. This week, we're talking flying free to Disney World, so let's dive in. Welcome to episode 61, everyone. Last week, I had the pleasure of talking to a blogging friend named Lyn Mettler about flying free to Disney World and anywhere really using Southwest points. And this is something I have been doing myself for many years. And when you get to doing something for a long time, you forget how it was when you were first starting to learn and just assume that everyone knows how to do that. So Lyn and I really tried to step back and approach this from a beginner standpoint. What does it mean to fly free? Is this a scam? Is this really a thing? Will opening credit cards hurt your credit? We try to address all of the common questions and misconceptions people have about flying on points and miles. So I'm really excited to bring you this interview and a special offer for my listeners. Lyn has an incredible Families Fly Free program, and you can save 10% off the membership fee with the promo code BudgetMouse for the month of February 2021. So to learn more about the program, you just go to thebudgetmouse.com/flyfree, and that will redirect you to the page with all the information about Lyn's Families Fly Free program. My guest today is Lyn Mettler. She is a freelance travel writer who contributes to U.S. News and World Report, USA Today, 10best.com, and more. She writes about adventure travel, hotel features and trends, and family travel with her school-age boys. She has shifted her focus now to helping families learn how to make flying free a lifestyle with her Families Fly Free program. So I'm really excited to share this interview with you. I hope you'll learn a lot about flying your family to Disney World for free. So here's the interview. Hi, Lyn. Thank you for being here today.
Sure. Thanks for having me, Leah.
I'm so excited to talk to you about flying free with points and miles.
Yay.
And you are definitely who I turn to for advice on this subject because you are so specialized about flying free. And I just want to ask you first, when did you have this realization, or when did you start doing this flying free with points and miles?
Yeah, so this all started for my family back in 2015. So I am a travel writer, have been for a long time, and someone had sent me a pitch about this couple that was flying around the world on miles, but they were earning them without flying. So that was the big light bulb moment for me. What? You can earn frequent flyer miles without flying? I just assumed frequent flyer miles were things business travelers earned because they flew a lot and they accumulated miles, and then they'd save up enough and maybe their family could take a trip, once every couple years or something.
Yeah.
So they were explaining how they earned miles in other ways. So that was the big eye opener for me. And I was a longtime couponer, as I know you are.
Yes.
Too. And so I was like, this is like couponing, but for travel. I'm in. I got to figure this out. So we spent probably the next year trying to figure out how this could work for our family. And I just remember we took our first trip probably maybe a year later with all of us flying free, and we flew to San Diego. We were just amazed that we were doing this because prior to that, my family really only took a road trip maybe once or twice a year because we couldn't afford to fly,
right.
4 of us.
Yeah,
so
expensive.
This completely changed our life, and we now fly in normal years about 6 times a year, all 4 of us free.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we have seen so many amazing places,
I remember the first time I read about this, and I think Lyn and I met through this site, which was Million Mile Secrets.
Yeah, that's
right?
who I'm talking about. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That was
okay.
the couple.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and I was like, this has got to be a gimmick. Like this cannot be true that people would do this. And then I, like you, found myself taking my first flight for free on points. And I was like, I thought, oh my God, I can't believe this is really happening. And I, like you, now fly my family around for free. And it's just become part of our life. I don't even think about it anymore as being anything unique or special. This is just what I do. And so I know I have lots of listeners who are like, huh? Like, what are they talking about? So you'll have to explain in, a brief way about how this works.
Right. And, my husband was a big skeptic of this
Yes.
too at the beginning, because he was just like,
Well,
no, you're crazy. This is not going to work or whatever. And then, once we took that first trip, he was in, he's all in.
Yeah. Let's do this.
Right. So it does sound too good to be true.
Yeah.
I think that's why a lot of people miss this, because it just sounds like a scam, but it really is not.
But it does take work. I mean, I always warn people about this. Like, I keep spreadsheets. You have to be pretty organized, I think. Maybe not. Well, maybe I'm working too hard.
Right. So I have tried, since I've been doing this now for a while, to dial this into as simple of a thing as possible for families, because we are moms, we're busy, we're working, we're taking kids here and there, like we're caring for elderly parents. I mean, you name it. Like, I don't have time to be studying this constantly and checking for award seats and constantly checking fares or whatever.
Definitely.
So I try to approach things with this 80-20 rule, where what are the 20% of things that you can do that generate 80% of your results. Yeah. So for me, number one, when 80-20, when it comes to travel, is the Southwest Companion Pass. That's the one thing that you can get that makes a huge difference in your family's ability to travel free. And if you know what you're doing, it's not that hard to get. So the Southwest Companion Pass, for those of you who aren't familiar, because a lot of people fly Southwest, have never heard of this. Definitely, right? No. I certainly didn't know it existed. And I never even flew Southwest. Like, it wasn't even on my radar. But it basically, if you can earn this pass, one person can fly free with you, not just once, but for the life of the pass, which is as long as 2 years. So as many flights as you can load up in the period of 2 years or the life of the pass, you can bring someone with you free.
I love it. I've told Lynn that I'm on my second companion pass now, and it is so fun. I can't even believe it. I love it.
Right. I mean, there's like no better deal in travel than that.
No, it's the best deal, hands down the best deal.
What else could you do to just completely cut out the cost of one person in your family?
Yeah, and I know some people don't understand that actually you're not even paying though for the other people, that you can use points and still get your free companion.
Right. Like that's it's already a crazy, ridiculous deal, right? Yes. So to get this pass in hand, you need to accumulate 125,000 points. So that sounds like a lot.
Within 1 year, right?
Within one calendar year, right? Between January 1st, December 31st of any calendar year. So if you're listening to this at the beginning of 2021, like, this is a good time to get your companion pass, because it's good from the time you earn it until the end of the following year. So if you earn it now, it is truly good for almost 2 years. It'll be good through the end of 2022. So you earn these 125,000 points, and then a lot of people think, oh, I just have to earn them to get the pass, but then I can't use them. But like Leah said, no. You can use all 125,000 points to book everyone else in your family on free flights.
Yeah. So really, like, when you earn companion pass, that 125 is like then 250, right? It's like doubled, because you get a free flight for every time you use those points, in my mind.
Right. Every point you use to book a flight for yourself, you're bringing someone else with you. And so in terms of the value of this pass, like, an average round trip flight in the US is about $350. So you multiply, $350 times however many flights you think you're going to take over the life of the pass. So for us, that's 12 flights in the course of a normal year, which right there is $4,200.
Oh my God.
Then if you add in the value of those 125,000 points
Yeah.
that you use to book everyone else, those are worth about 1.5 cents per point for Southwest. That's another $1,800. So you're looking at about a $6,000 savings in travel from
Yes.
one pass, if you can
Yes,
get that.
that's nuts. I mean, I years ago, out of curiosity, added up how much I had earned in free flights, the value of the free flights that I had gotten, and I had been doing points and miles for years at that point, and it was $20,000,
I know.
which is just
And
nuts.
like, would you have ever spent $20,000 on travel?
I didn't have $20,000 to spend on
Right.
travel.
Us
Okay, so
either.
let's tell people how to earn said points.
Right, right. So of course the trick is you've got to earn these things, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different ways that you can earn Southwest points. So again, you have to get in the mindset of, I don't have to fly to earn
Right.
these points,
Yeah.
right? I can earn them in tons of ways right from home. Even if you're not traveling right now, earn points because Southwest points never expire. So you can use them for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
if you don't use them the
I
next
might
year or
have
two.
to because I had accumulated so many points and then I got shut down and I was like, good thing these things don't expire. I'm going to have lots of points. And I keep earning
Right.
them too during the pandemic. So I'm like very rich in Southwest points right now.
Lucky you.
All
I
right.
know. That's a good place to be.
Okay.
But the easiest way to earn Southwest points, not the only way, but is by taking advantage of their credit cards. So they have a personal credit cards and they have small business credit cards. So you can hold one personal card and you can actually hold, they have two business cards. Actually, you can hold both of those. But there are rules and restrictions about the cards and how often you can get them and how many you can hold and that kind of thing. But if you're able to get one personal card, so at the moment, the offer is 50,000 points when you sign up for their card, and then you spend $2,000 on that card in the first 3 months. So if you're able to do that, and I always recommend, I never want anyone to get in debt because then you're not really flying free. You're paying
No,
high interest. So that's no good.
no.
But you just want to put your ordinary everyday expenses on there to meet the minimum spend, like anything you can think of: health insurance, rent, car payments, gas, groceries, school tuition. I just was talking with a couple yesterday, daycare. I mean, they had a huge daycare
Oh, wow.
bill,
Yeah.
that could probably meet the minimum spend in a month. So you just put everyday expenses on there, you meet that minimum spend, you get this huge chunk of points. So if you can take advantage of one personal and one business, that's the ideal.
Yeah.
And anyone can be approved for a small business card if you have any kind of side income. So that could be running your own blog. It could be walking dogs. It could be consulting. It could be selling things on Facebook Marketplace. Any kind of side income, even if you do it under your own Social Security number as a sole proprietor. So you don't have to have a corporation or an
No.
LLC in order to get approved. So if you can apply for those two cards, and the business cards bonus points range from about 60 to 70,000 points with a $4,000 to $5,000 minimum spend. You can have a companion pass in hand like in a couple months.
Yeah, definitely.
And 125,000 points to spend.
I need to interject something here, and it's that this stuff is constantly changing. Okay, because I say this because, like, when I started in all this, it was completely different. There were different cards available. There was a different minimum for Companion Pass. Just now, what you said is different than when I earned Companion Pass last year. The requirements are different. The cards are different. The rules are constantly changing. And so I just need to say, like, having an expert like whose job is to stay on top of this, like Lyn, this is why you are so valuable, because I cannot stay on top of all of that. Like, it is a full-time job, right? It's constantly evolving landscape of points and miles and Companion Pass, whatever. And so that's why I think you and your program is so valuable, because your job is to stay on top of it, and then I don't have to.
Right. And that's why I have a program called Families Fly Free, which is designed for exactly that, for people who want some personal help getting this to be a lifestyle, learning my simple process that I've put together that works specifically for families. and it keeps you alerted of anything important that you need to know. Not everything that's happening with every airline or
No.
every hotel group, but just the things you need to know. Because while we're talking about right now the earning of the points, the other half of the equation is effectively redeeming the points, which really just means spending as few points as possible on each flight. So
Yes.
that's the other half of the strategy that you need to master in order to take as many trips as you can with your family on the same number of points. And I am a Southwest Ninja
Nice.
booking nerd.
I love it.
I live and breathe this stuff. So I'm always finding the cheapest and the best ways to book Southwest for as few points as possible. And I have a great hack that's worked for me 4 times right now that I'm sharing with the members in the group that gets you these super cheap flights, but the best times of day on the best, the days you really want to go nonstop instead of connecting.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And we send our members out. We send it by text if you would like to get it that way, like when
Right.
Southwest is having a sale, or when there's a really great deal to Hawaii or to Disney, or these places that we know a lot of families want to go. So you can consume it in a way that's easy for you. Like we have a podcast version if you like to listen to podcasts like this,
Yay.
while you're cleaning the closet or taking a walk or driving the kids, to or from school. Or activities. And so it's designed, again, with busy families in mind. So you
Yes.
just get the information that you need. Takes you
That's
5
so,
minutes.
I love it. I need to back up too because my mind gets ahead of myself. And I think there's a lot of misconceptions out there about credit cards and using them for points and miles that
Yeah.
maybe need to be addressed, like it will hurt your credit score.
So
Let's
lots
address
of
that misconception right now.
Right. And that was my husband's concern at the beginning, is too, like, oh, we don't want to get in debt. We have been in debt before. So like, I totally get that. That's an issue, as well as people are worried about their credit score. So credit score wise, what's actually happening is, yes, you are applying. I don't teach applying for a whole bunch of cards, because there's
No.
people out there that are getting sucked into, oh, American's got a great deal, or oh, Marriott's got a great deal, or whatever. I tell you exactly the cards you need to get and in what order. And you can do it with 3 cards, period.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't close and reopen cards all the time either. I've been able to do it with the same 3 cards I opened at the beginning. This is going on 6 years now. So that's not necessary. But when you're opening a new card, the banks are extending you more credit. And that's actually is beneficial to your credit score, because it's based on many factors, but one of them is your debt to credit ratio. So
Yeah.
as long as your debt is a third or lower of the total amount of credit that's been extended to you, that's a benefit for your score. So the more credit extended to you, the better. You may see like a drop of a point or 2 when you apply for a card, because that does count as a credit check, but it's more than offset by the increase in credit that's extended to you. So a lot of people who do this for many years, they have some, I don't have it into the 800s, but they have scores into the 800s.
Girl, I do. Listen to this. We bought a new home, and I don't track my credit score at all. I mean, I vaguely know what it is. And so we were applying for our mortgage, and the guy was like, do you know your credit score offhand? I said, no, I don't. I said, but here, I'll pull it up for you, because I know I can get it on my bank statement. They can pull your FICO score. So I pulled it up. It was 842.
Oh my gosh. Well, you're
said,
the perfect example.
We don't have anything to worry about. I said, no, I didn't know it was that high. I thought, I don't check it. But let me tell you, I have lots and lots of credit cards. I have been doing this for a decade. I have a lot of credit cards. So I will say, yes. I mean, that's not for everyone, but it clearly did not hurt my credit score.
Right. Well, and another factor is like you're charging things to the card and you're paying them off on time every month. And that's a plus to your credit also.
Yeah.
So, and in terms of getting in debt, what I recommend, again, because I have been in debt with credit cards a long time before, is if you are someone who struggles with that a little bit, like our problem would always be like we'd put stuff on the card, but then we'd forget, and at the end of the month we didn't have enough in the bank to cover it. So what I recommend doing, and a lot of my readers do this, is you charge something to the card, You go in the next day, you pay it right off. You charge something to the card, you pay it right off. It's the same as it coming directly out of your bank. And you never put anything on the card that you don't have money in the bank to cover right now.
Yeah, you go first and see, do I have that? Oh, I do. Okay, now I can put it on the card. Yeah, I use it as just an extension of a debit card as well. Like
Yes.
that. And I don't have credit card debt, and I haven't for years. But I do caution, I think some people are prone to credit card debt. And I would say, like, if you are, I would not recommend this right out of the gate. Like, first, I would like get your debt under control. Like, do a
Yes.
debt counseling.
Don't do it while you're in debt, for sure.
No, don't
No.
do it. If you
Yeah.
have a bad track record with credit cards, like, get that issue resolved. And then, like, this can be a reward for you, right? Then you can start traveling for free. Think about it like, oh my gosh, if I get my debt under control, then I can use credit cards responsibly. And oh my God, the benefits of using credit cards responsibly are huge, huge. So I would give that kind of caveat.
Yes, I agree 100%. You don't want to start this while you're in debt. Like I said, get rid of your debt first.
Yeah.
Like you said, and then that gives you more motivation too to get out of debt, right? Because you can, you can, okay, then I can start doing this. And I want to say too, credit cards are not the only way. So there are plenty of other ways to earn points with Southwest. It takes longer and you will have to work harder at it, but it's totally possible. So I have people that come through that maybe they just have one card, or they don't want to reopen a new card, or they don't want any cards at all. Just to give you a couple of examples. So I love the Rapid Rewards shopping portal, since we're talking about Southwest, but all of the airlines have a shopping portal, and this is what a lot of people miss. There's twofold things here. One is you start any shopping you'd be doing at an online retailer. Most of them are in there. Amazon isn't. And at the moment, Walmart and Target are not, but usually they are. They dropped out during the pandemic. But things like Best Buy, Lowe's, Home Depot, CVS, Kohl's, Walgreens, Old Navy, all in there. Any shopping you're going to be doing at those places anyway, you start at the portal and you earn between 1 point and 20 points per dollar just by what you were going to spend anyway.
Yes,
with Southwest.
I have a brag on that. Can I just say, because I had to buy a new cell phone this week because like mine is threatening to die. And I was buying it through the Apple store. And so I went to like Cashback Monitor, where you can compare like what's the best cashback, and JetBlue had good 3 points per dollar, 3 miles per dollar from the Apple store. And I got 1,500 JetBlue miles, which is almost enough for a one-way ticket to Massachusetts, where my dad flies to visit us and we can fly up there to see him. So I was like, whoop, whoop. I got like a one-way ticket to Boston with my cell phone.
Right. And the keyness is all things you're going to be doing anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
And the credit card is really the same thing. It's things you're purchasing anyway. You're just getting a return on your spend.
Heck yeah. I'm not I will never throw that opportunity away again, because I feel like for years I was like, oh, I have to use my debit card, blah, blah, blah. Do not. As long as
Why would you not want to earn free travel as a return on your regular spending?
Yes, absolutely. So, okay, good. Well, I hope that addressed that misconception about like, it's like fiscally irresponsible to do it, or it's going to ruin your credit score, right? Neither of those things are true. And we're both examples of that. So there's Southwest, there's the companion pass, which you can earn and get gobs of miles, and you can fly a companion for free. And like, I've changed my companion before, like you can change it 3 times, right?
You can, change it 3 times each year. There's some little rules and restrictions there you have to get around, but we explained to you how to do that. So basically you have to like complete all flights with the current companion before you can add the new one, but there's a way around that. So
oh, look at you, a way around. I did not know that.
I have all of the ways around.
All of the ways around. That's why this is a rabbit hole, man. You can go down this rabbit hole so deep. But we're going to try and not go down the rabbit hole, but so, you can earn points with Southwest. They're the best because of Companion Pass. And then redeeming them smart is another thing you teach in Families Fly Free, like how to use the least amount of points, like get savvy with the Southwest website and like finding the points chart and finding the least amount of points to use. And so because this is Disney focused, do you want to speak to like particularly traveling to Orlando on Southwest?
Yes. So I took a look today at Southwest. One of the great things about booking in points with them is that the points price changes depending on the cash price. So when the cash price goes down, the points price goes down. Whereas most other airlines have a fixed like 25,000 point round trip.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I don't like that
Because
either
I'm used
because
to Southwest, and I was like, boo, I don't like
yeah,
that.
like on the regular, we get 5,000 to 7,000 round trips on Southwest. So why would it's totally intimidating to think
Yeah.
I need to come up with 100,000 points every time I want to go somewhere. No, thank you.
No.
But so for example, and again, their points prices change, but this is what it is at the moment. Typically Orlando from most cities is a pretty good deal.
Yes.
So I checked like a variety of cities around the country. And at the moment, the highest I could find was 4,900 per way. And there's tons of 2,500 per ways to Orlando. So like Chicago, New York, LaGuardia, Houston, Denver, Charlotte, Washington, D.C., Reagan, Atlanta, all had 2,500 points per way. Now,
that is so cheap.
I know. So let's look at this. So that's 5,000 points round trip. If a family of 4 had a companion pass, you're going to spend 15,000 points for your family to go to Disney World, and you've got 125,000 to work with.
Oh my God.
So you can see how we fly six times a year.
I do too. I'm just looking at from Raleigh Durham right now, which is my airport. Yeah, and there's nonstop to Orlando. It leaves at 12:25 p.m. 2,510 points. What in the world? It's because no one wants to fly right now because, oh, whoops, we're in a global pandemic. But anyway, I will say non-pandemic times, I've gotten them that cheap many times.
Yeah.
Many
I have
times.
gotten them close to that cheap, I would say, from Indianapolis.
I'm pretty close.
Too.
Raleigh Durham isn't that far away from Florida. So yeah, absolutely. It's not unheard of. I've done it many times and gotten them for, sub 8,000 round trip. That's normal.
Right. And these super cheap ones may not be on your ideal day and time, but I'm always like, I'll hang on the back of the plane, whatever.
Yeah.
In the middle of they don't fly in the middle of the night. So that's a good thing. But at the first thing in the morning, if I can fly my family free, no problem.
Oh, my girl's gotten up at 4:30 a.m. before to catch an early flight. Mama says, get up. We're going to the airport.
Right. Yep. Us too.
You know what was funny? One time we went to the airport and it was daylight out and she said, Mom, this is so weird. She was so used to getting yanked out of bed before the sun came up to go to the airport. She said, I've never gone to the airport when the sun is out before. I thought, oh, scary mommy.
Well, but there's something to be said for getting to Disney World at the beginning of the day. I mean, you have the whole day ahead of you.
Here. We don't need sleep. We need to get there.
Right. And like I said, this hack that's working right now, you actually can book these cheap ones and change them to the days that you really want.
Ooh, that's so tempting.
Which is super cool. I know. So,
oh gosh, I can't wait to fly again and start doing all of this again. It's so fun, but soon. Oh my gosh, it's so soon. I love it. So, is there anything else you would say about Southwest in particular?
Just that they are, in addition to the fact that they're the easiest airline for families to fly free. They also just are in general a good airline for families because you can check 2 bags per person, no fee, which when we go to Disney World, like we will often pack a bag of like food.
Yeah, we do that too.
Because we can. Yeah. Right. So snacks and breakfast and whatever in its own bag. So, and particularly with kids, I am someone who likes to check bags. I can't survive in just a carry on. But so it's just helpful to know you can bring what you need without worry. You don't have to worry about paying $35 for every single bag that you're going to check. So I love that. You can always cancel your flight on Southwest or change it for no fee. You can do it up to 10 minutes before the flight takes off. And if you book in points, this is a big reason to book in points. If you book in points, they go right back in your account. So instantly, there's no fee to change or cancel if someone gets sick. Like I know our kids have gotten strep throat right before we were going to go to Disney. But you can just cancel it. They go right back in your account. You can use it at a future time because their points never expire.
Gosh,
so for me, I can hardly fly Southwest, any other airline, just for that reason, because
I've gotten so
peace of mind.
I've gotten so spoiled with it too.
Yeah. And that way, like if you find a good deal too, you can just go ahead and book it you may or
Yes.
may not end up
I
taking
do
it.
that. Yeah.
Right.
Do
But
that a
just grab
lot.
it while it's there.
Yep.
If you don't take it, cancel, and points go right back in. So there's a lot of reasons to fly them. The big one being you can fly free, but
Yes. Amazing. And you do this with other airlines into other destinations.
right. So if you, and I am in no way affiliated with
No,
Southwest,
me
I should
neither.
say too.
Gosh. And
A
I'm
lot of
in no
people
way
ask me
affiliated
that.
with Disney. I don't
Right.
affiliate
I
with
just
Disney.
genuinely think it's the
Yeah.
best way to do it. But yeah, so like if you're not near a Southwest airport, I inside of my program I have multiple courses, that digital courses that you can take, including one that walks you step by step through how to get the companion pass. And we also actually put together a customized plan for your family to fly free forever, not just once, but make this a lifestyle. But you can also learn how to do it on Delta, American, or United. Delta is probably my second favorite in terms of ease of flying free for families. And United is my least favorite, I think. And I don't
Yeah,
really have any experience
I've
with
never even
JetBlue.
done that. I've never accumulated United miles. Well, they don't really fly out of our airport, so, and I'm strictly a nonstop person, so there's no nonstops. I ain't going.
Oh, now I don't mind
At least,
connecting.
at least until my kids are older. Well, we were going to make a connection for our Europe trip that got canceled because of the pandemic. But I mean, in that situation, yes, I'll make a connection. But we actually were going to sleep in the airport in like a little hotel room in the airport for a while because I'm such a wimp about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Well, and I have a simple process to fly a family to Europe. And we also have just added simple process to stay free in hotels as well.
And that's all in Families Fly Free.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
all in your
And
program. That's great.
yes, we have weekly live webinars and you get video consult with me. Lots of good stuff.
So tell us how to find all of this goodness.
Sure. So I put together actually a freebie for your listeners who want to
Woohoo!
learn more about how to earn Southwest points, because truly there are tons of ways. So you can download my list of 101 ways to earn Southwest points if you go to familiesflyfree.com/budget mouse.
Budget Mouse. Awesome. I'll
Mm-hmm.
put a link in the show notes, and then you can have that on the site too. It will be on the site too.
Perfect. And if you want to learn more about my program, you can do that at familiesflyfree.com/join. You can get more information.
Awesome.
And actually, I did want to mention that we have themed months every month.
Oh, cool.
So February is going to be all about Disney. So how to fly free to Disney.
Oh, wow.
Because we have lots of families. That's number one on their list. That and Hawaii are the top two. So we just did Hawaii in December. This month we're talking about hotels, and the next month we'll do Disney.
And do they have access to all of the other content too, like from December?
Yes, so it's all recorded and in there ready for you. And my family, we didn't talk much about this, but we love Disney. We go about once a year, and we tend to rotate between Disney World and Disneyland. And my husband grew up, his family went every single year to Disney World, so he's kind of like our expert. He knows all of the shortcuts in the parks, as I'm sure you do. We just like follow along with him, and he plans everything. So we love Disney. So I have lots of just kind of like our favorite restaurants and the packing list and tips like that. So
wonderful. Wow. So much value in what you're offering. And then you have a podcast as well. And is it Families Fly Free?
Yep. That's what it's called. So you can check out my free podcast as well. And I there's one in there right now about the Southwest Companion Pass if you want to learn more about that.
Awesome. Thank you, Lyn, for sharing all of your wisdom.
So fun to talk about all this.
Yes, I could talk all day.
Me too, clearly.